the founder of Eat Like a Bear, and we are celebrating our count up to 100 century cases. We are in the low 90s now, and welcome Vivian to the Century Club. So these are people who've lost over 100 pounds since finding us, like Sarah Myers here representing in Lake Tahoe. I mean, how awesome is that? Or Sean in Oklahoma hanging out with her grandchild, as she says, like being able to fit in one of these little cars. I mean, you know what I mean, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Or Shelley Foundry in Texas, who joined the group on the very first day of the group, and she was our first person to reach the 100-pound down mark, the first official person, even, in fact. So we laugh about that because when we made the big announcement about Shelley way back in April of 2019, we had someone come on out of lurkdom and say, you know what, I already lost 118 pounds. And I tried to run her down and find out who she was, and she disappeared again. So, you know, as we count up to 100, I do wonder, how many do we really have out there? Who are they? And out there lurking and staying private, and I get that, and I respect that. So thank you to all the people who are going public, and how wonderful, and I respect the people who are also staying private. Hey, you guys. Hey, so I'm on a different app today because yesterday we had some strange problems. So I'm just on the YouTube app, and we'll just see how this works. I figure in this whole process, maybe I'll figure out how to go live on YouTube. We'll see. Okay. Well, today, so yesterday I told a story about my mindset in 2017 as I started this diet this time, and how that mindset difference is probably a key factor in what led to my success in getting to my lowest weight as an adult, and really being able to maintain for these 3 years. And so that it ends up, even though like the food was on point. I mean, you guys know it. If you've done the 3-day challenge, you know how much success you can see from a really good food framework. And so if you're new and you're wondering what the heck's going on, or what are they talking about, all this weight loss stuff, you just need to go to eatlikeabear.com and find the 3-day challenge. And I walk you through our food framework. That's it. And I mean, you may well see some really great success with that. We're seeing a lot of success with the food framework, but I see other communities implementing a very similar food framework, and they don't have the 100 century cases. Okay, so what is it that we're doing that's different? And my psychology as I got started was definitely different for me in my life. And so I talked about that in yesterday's video. And today I want to talk a little bit, this is a story I actually haven't told anywhere publicly. And I've only privately told a few people. And so this is going to be a new story for pretty much almost all of you. And that is that I've been really pretty clear with people that I never intended to lead a weight loss group or like to provide any leadership in weight loss. To me, I mean, having failed at it for so long, the idea that I would, you know, sort of prance out and lead something like this, no. I mean, no. And with my goal in losing the weight was to get out and hike with my sons. And so it probably wouldn't be a real surprise to you guys to know that what I was really working on in the spring of 2018, that's when, so I started on August 31st. And by the spring, I was down 120 pounds total. And I was working really hard on foraging videos. And so I was working on videos, but it was about foraging and hiking. That's what I was doing. And I was like, sure, I was building an empire about foraging videos. That's what I was doing. So I was out living in it. I was. And so out there doing my foraging thing, doing my videos. Somewhere in all of that, Eat Like a Bear happened. And as I look back and kind of, you know, trace back the whole timeline, I'm going to blame it on one person. And this is a person who, to my mind, was going to lead all of this. And so we're here in Central California, and this is California's center of obesity and diabetes. I live in Tulare County, and Tulare County competes, you know, every year for the distinguished honor of being like the most obese county and the most diabetic county. And we compete with our neighbors, Kern County and Kings County and Fresno County. And so we're like the real super overweight center of California. And my primary care doctor had a weight loss clinic. And he was a very open-minded, uh, natural health oriented doctor, uh, and had this weight loss clinic. He himself knew the struggle. He was really rather obese. I'm going to say he weighed at least 450, but he's really, really, really big. He 6'5". I mean, he towered above me because I'm 5'2.5". Okay, towered, truly towered above me, and just huge, huge, massive, massive man, and so charming and charismatic, and such a deep heart. And so he actually is my doctor who referred me to the bariatric surgeon. And he said to me, he said, you know, Amanda, I don't refer many of my patients for bariatric surgery, but I will refer you. I mean, I was convincing. I talked him into it, and so he's the one. So we'd had a number of discussions about weight loss and, like, you know, the deep pain. So he knew it. He knew it. And he is the one I talk about in the Ridiculously Big Salad book, that I jump-started my own diet with an extended water fast. And so he's the doctor who oversaw that craziness. And so he's very open-minded. And that was in early September of 2017. But then I didn't see him. I saw his nurse almost monthly, actually, for all those months. And so in 8 months, I lost 100 pounds. And I was already down 20 to get approved for bariatric surgery. Then I lost an additional 100 in 8 months. And that took me to the end of April of 2018. And I went into his office for a nurse's appointment. And at each nurse's appointment, they were really impressed. And I was kind of becoming like the scuttlebutt of the office. And they kept saying, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. That's great. And they'd ask, like, what I was doing. Oh, you know, low carb eating, 1 meal a day. And so we really didn't drill down super specifically, but they just kept saying, by golly, do it. It's working. Keep doing it. But in all this time and all these months, I hadn't seen the doctor. So I had only seen him during the extended fast. And so 8 months later, I asked, hey, can I just pop in and see the doctor just for a minute? And I go into his office because I'm thinking, like, people need to know about that this works so well. People need to know about this. And this doctor needs to be the one telling people about it. And he's doing a weight loss clinic, right? And his heart, this is where his heart is. I knew that. And he had the heart to provide this kind of leadership. But he had the weight, and he had, health problems from that weight too. And his whole family struggled. You know, one of those families some of us are a part of, where we all struggle. And so he was in his office, sitting down behind his desk, and I went in and I said to him, so my dad is also his patient, and he and my dad are really good friends. They know each other really well. And so I walked in and I said, first of all, I would like to introduce myself, because I am Amanda Rose, Dwayne Rose's daughter, and you might not recognize me because I've lost 100 pounds since you saw me. And he said, oh, no, of course, Amanda, of course. And so I went on to talk to him about what I had done. And I wish I had recorded somehow what I said to him, because it was one of those, like, early, like, the excitement of having lost all the weight, and just, like, gushing with excitement, and saying to him, I did say to him, hey, you know, you have so many patients who would benefit from this, and it's so easy. It's so easy. Maybe, why don't you let them know about it? And he leaned into me. Well, first of all, he said, you know, by the way, back when I said that I recognized you, I didn't recognize you. But when I made that big pitch, you know, it's so easy. Everyone needs to be doing this. He looked right at me and he said, Amanda, I don't have one patient who would do what you did. And you know, when you have those moments, like, and you like, think like, what's wrong with you? I mean, don't you get it? Don't you get it? What is wrong? You do not get it. You know how we all think that about other people? Okay, all the time, right? And I walked out of his office like, oh my God, because that was like the last thing he said to me. And I walked out and I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? You don't get it. And I stood there in his hallway and I took a breath and I thought, this is someone I really respect. And I know that he knows about the diets. I know he knows all this stuff. And I'm standing here thinking he doesn't get it. I don't think he's the problem. The problem is I'm not communicating this to him. Okay. And I challenged myself right there in that hallway. I am going to come back and I'm going to repitch this to him because he needs to do this thing. And so he can lose some weight so that he can, you know, just jump into his destiny and lead this thing because Central California needs him and needs his leadership. And so I'd been meeting with my cousin Stephen, and you guys know that from the 3-day challenge emails, the story about Stephen, and actually it was in the Bakersfield Californian as well. And had been meeting monthly in these restaurants where I'd show them what I was eating. And I had started talking more with the moms at my son's school. And so I was engaging with people about what I was doing, but I began very carefully really thinking about what words I was saying, and trying to hear people's objections, what was keeping people from starting. And I was really listening to that. And the reason I was so focused on it is it was my goal, because I made it in that hallway, that I was going to go back and repitch the doctor and get him to start. So, because at that point I thought, so what about all his patients? Let's just put that aside. I need him to start, because that's the beginning of it. How am I going to go back? What will I say to him? What are the words that I'm going to use? And it's interesting to me because I have watched a couple of those old videos, and one from about 3 years ago. And I actually start the video by talking about this is easy. And it wasn't really long after that point that you'll never hear me saying that again. So in fact, now I'm going to qualify. It's not easy. There's nothing about this that's easy. You guys know that if you follow me. I always say this is simple, but not easy. There's nothing ever easy about losing 100 pounds, 200 pounds, ever, even 10 pounds is not easy. It's not easy. And having that idea that something's easy is probably a very poor getting started psychology. Because then when it's actually hard, because it always is hard, because easy is eating the donuts, right? I mein, yeah, it's hard to be fat, but it's really easy in that moment to make that decision to eat the donut. And so if we start with the idea that this, it's just going to be so easy, we'll just all prance around and lose weight, that probably pretty much all of us would be fat, okay? Because it's not easy. And so that was one of those things that like I checked in myself very early on, was like using that word easy is, you know, a big downfall to the getting started psychology. And to someone like him who knew this was nothing about weight loss was easy. He was an expert. So, you know, that didn't pass the sniff test for him is really what it was. And so I was out, I was talking to people, I was on Facebook Live talking to people about it, engaging with people and hearing concerns like, well, the big one, what about hunger? What about hunger? And so I heard all of those objections and began engaging with people about those objections. And because what I was really doing was trying to figure out how I was going to go back and like package this for the doctor. And what happened was I then in the process realized, wow, people are actually starting, especially in real life. So that's where I was doing most of this engagement. And they were getting started, and I started like slowly getting a little bit of courage. Like I had the thought, maybe I'll put my picture up on the internet. And so it was May 7th of 2018 where I released the video called Eat Like a Bear. And the day before that video, there is actually a May 7th, no, May 9th, May 9th. So on May 8th, 2018, there's a live video where I talk about this. And I talk about that's where I say, oh, it's easy. Okay, maybe that's the last time I said that. And I also say that, you know, I've been just like struggling, thinking about, you know, for weeks about, should I post this video? I don't know. I don't know if I want to put my picture out there, but gosh, if it gave even one person hope, maybe it's worth it. And you can see in that message, there's some like early messages that are very much like a postcard from Yellowstone. So I was already on that track at that point. And on May 8th then, I think I'm mixing all this up. It was May 8th that I did the live video, May 9th, because it's this coming Sunday. It's the 3rd anniversary of a video called Eat Like a Bear. And that video, and it's kind of almost tongue in cheek. Like, you know, people say, hey, you know, you're starving yourself. And I tell them I eat like a bear, you know, so a bear, you know, is purposely, I didn't maybe so purposely get fat, but, you know, then the bear goes into hibernation and takes care of the problem. So what if we all hibernate 23 hours of the day? And, you know, maybe we all need to eat like a bear more often or whatnot. So anyway, it's the Eat Like a Bear video. And so that video, I just noticed it got over 100,000 views, probably mostly back in 2018. And then, so I released that, and very soon I was really burned out because I was doing all those foraging and herb videos, was really burned out on videos. And so I put a few more up, and then I kind of went in the wind for about 2 months. And that is, so we went through the Pacific Northwest, went hiking. I mean, I was out there living in the goal. I went to Vidcon, which is a big video creator conference, and was really super focused on my foraging empire. In fact, I met a producer from a network that y'all would know, okay? You'd know the network, and just happened to rub elbows with a producer who said, "You're where? What? You know, actually, we were talking about a foraging show, but we're looking for like the right situation or whatever." And don't get all excited about that because, you know, just like early stage talking. But that's, I mean, that's how deep I was into my foraging empire. That's how deep I was into that. That was in late June of 2018. And again, super focused on that and on getting our leader all ready to lead this, right? And to lead the weight loss revolution in Central California. And that's how it was all going to go. And I'm going to take your questions now. And we're doing this every day for how many days. So let's string this origin story out a little bit more. And tomorrow I will continue. So this is like a soap opera, a very underproduced, low quality soap opera. You guys can come back tomorrow. And I will tell you about how I started the group and went in and repitched my doctor and what happened with that. And so I'll tell that tomorrow. And then the next day, so tomorrow's Friday, the next day, probably then the postcard from Yellowstone story. And we'll move on from there. But so now I'm on a different app. So I'm just on the native YouTube app, and I'm going to see if I can actually use it. And so, and Helen asks, do you need to do extended fasting to get the last weight off? Helen, you know what? My last 20 pounds came from like grinding it off. So mine just hit so perfectly because, so I was down, so I'd lost 20 to get approved for bariatric surgery. I then lost another 100 in 8 months, and that was then late April of 2018. So I was down 120 pounds. And at that point, I was at my lowest weight as an adult because the weight that I was always fighting for was like 167. You know, the weight you can never get past that. So I'd never been down to 160. And so there I was at 160. What? 160. And it also happened to be spring. And like I said, I mean, I wanted so much to get out and hike with my sons. That's what I did. great thing happens when you're out hiking. And so I just kept, I just got out there, I kept grinding, and I increased my calories a bit, but I was still pretty careful. And so, because one of the things you do when you really add some hardcore exercise, it's easy to just overcompensate with food because you think you deserve it. Maybe you sort of do, but it's also kind of nice to lose weight sometime. Hey, Connie from Minnesota. We have a bunch of people from Minnesota, and I've wondered, is there like some person who got this started in Minnesota? I would like to know about that. But in terms of the last pounds, I really would like to think that the one great path to the last pounds is just getting out, living, just being as active as you can be and doing it that way. Maybe it would take a little more time, but then you're working on that new habit and you're out doing it. I mean, I think that is great. That would be so great to just maybe keep those calories lean enough and then just go hit it. Just go hit it. Go, yeah, in any way that you can. And just live in it. And I'll tell you, that's a key to maintenance too. I mean, just go out and appreciate what you can do. It's so vastly different to live at 140 than 280. And I do think that it is a key part of success to get down to those lower weights where it is so completely life-changing. And Lisa's asking, can you do this low fat? Lisa, I think very likely you can do it almost any way you want if you adopt the right mindset and approach. Because what I'd encourage you to do is get in and learn. So the ridiculously big salad framework is what I teach in the 3-day challenge. And the day 2 meal is cooked. So there's that. So you don't have to be raw either, with a salad. But you can definitely, reduce the fat on any of that. So the dressings have a lot of fat and you could cut that fat back, and you could have lean meats. You could go really pretty low fat pretty easily and still have that salad model. For instance, if you wanted to do the salad model, I think as we are living off our own body fat, I'm actually not super concerned that we're going to be all fat deficient because we're going to be burning our own body fat. And that said, fat is important to help us stay satisfied with what we're eating and to help get us to tomorrow. And so I sort of feel like that that becomes important for those purposes. So I think you need to kind of find a balance. But definitely look at the framework. And then, because I'm not sure what you mean by low fat, but you can definitely reduce the fat a lot. You could go really lean on those salads and really, really lean. See, I wouldn't want to go that lean. So in that case, I guess it wouldn't work for me very well. So I'll just add a little fat. And because I'm eating a little more fat, it's probably going to take a little while to burn off the fat, but it's more sustainable for me. So it's a better option. And so I'm trying to see the comments, and so still kind of getting my sea legs here with that. And let's see, Lois here from Charleston. Okay, so wish these are disappearing. What? Come on. Okay, you guys, hang with me. We'll get this. I wish I could be one of the 100th century case, but I didn't find it soon enough. So one of the second. Oh, okay. So Lois, so I think what you're saying, because the comments like they come on and then they disappear. I need to figure this out. I think Lois is saying she lost some of her weight from another program, but so we have like so because not to make light of Lois's path. The thing is, so we have the Century Club list, and we have 2 different lists, but all props, Lois, to you for 100 pounds, because however you lost them, good for you. Good, and keep them off. That's the key, of course. And so on the official Century Club list page, we have the people who lost 100 with Eat Like a Bear. And so those are people, well, like me. So I lost 20 to get approved for bariatric surgery, but then I went on to lose 120 pounds. And so I lost a total of 140, but only 120 of those through what I call Eat Like a Bear. Okay. And so we have, on the list, we have Iola Meadows, who found us when she was down, I don't know, 60 or 70 pounds. And she had stalled for about 6 months. And then she lost another 70 or something with Eat Like a Bear. And so she's on the list, but she's not in the official, like the 90 some people count. because those 90 are people who lost all 100 in finding Eat Like a Bear. And we talked about like how we should measure, should there be a certain percentage of pounds lost? And my husband ultimately went out and said, look, just keep it simple and just have those two lists. And but yeah, I give everyone their props for losing wherever, however you lose it. And good, may we all find our path to losing it. So for sure. And I'm gonna try to find the comments again. I don't know why they're not staying up here very well for me. So, and yeah, you're working towards 140 pounds. That's great. Good. Go get it. That's awesome. Hey, Carrie Bradley. And so Carrie's been with us for maybe forever. Carrie, do you remember when you joined? Long time ago. So, Deborah is in her 4th day on 1 meal a day. I lost 8 pounds in 3 days. What do you tell yourself to not cheat? Yeah, so Deborah, this becomes a total mind tool. First of all, you're always going to want to cheat. So don't be looking for you're always going to want to eat the things you shouldn't eat. So don't think that like you're going to wake up someday and that's going to ever be different, because I don't think it ever is. I'd love to live in that universe where I could just kind of, do everything without consequence universe. So we're not there. Okay. So the bright line concept is something I talk a lot about. And with the thing about the 1 meal a day in particular, I find myself that if I can really fill up and be satisfied, filled up enough that I can, at that point, that moment in time after eating, I'm so full, I'm not looking for something else. I draw that line and I walk away. And I really mentally work on disassociating from it. And so it is like the type of disassociation we all do from a lot of life problems. You can apply that same skill of disassociating from the food because you've provided yourself with the nourishment. You don't need to worry that you're now I'm starving myself. You're not starving yourself, for goodness sakes. If you're overweight and you just ate a 1,200 calorie salad, you're good. You're real good. You just want to eat. I mean, we know that. And so it's that line that you're drawing. And so in terms of keeping yourself from wanting to cheat, will we ever really be there? I don't know. Will we ever not want to? It's not really, I think that's like the wrong way to think about it. Draw the line, walk away, meet your goals, and then live in those goals. Like I was saying, I get out and I hike, and I purposefully think about this, and I really purposefully try to be grateful and remember. I think that's important. I think it's really important. Just contemplating that, appreciating what I have. So, and that, that's the best, that is absolutely the best defense against the donut right there. Yeah, absolutely. So here I am, look again, trying to find the comments. Okay. And Janet, so thank you for working so hard to be able to live stream. I'm working on it, Janet, and I lost your comment again. Boy, this is strange. And so this is helping me stay on track. I'm down 45 pounds, but have at least another 45 to go. And this helps so much with motivation. Janet, congratulations, first of all. And second, I'm going to say, because I'm going to tell these stories each day, but here's a little spoiler. Okay, so as I look at what are we going to do? We're the people hitting 100 century cases. That's a huge asset, right? What will we do with our asset? And that's just the century cases, right? That's just 100. And then there's the rest of the century list, and people's stories. And then there's the people who, only lost 50 pounds. What? That's great. And so it is my top priority. We're getting through our century celebration because we have some really exciting stuff coming out of that. But I feel like the real exciting thing is what we're doing after that. And I don't have all the details in place, but my number one goal for like my time and my focus is right here on YouTube and getting the stories on here and getting them on here in a way that can keep us all focused and keep us all reaching our goals, remembering, staying engaged, and just having that, I feel like in a year from now, if we can have, I mean, imagine we have a whole YouTube library of amazing, mind blowing stories. And that's what we can lean on. That's what I hope to have here. I feel like the food framework, you guys. So there's the ridiculously big salad, and this book has done very well. It funds a lot of what we do, by the way. So thank you, thank you for your support. And it has driven so much success in terms of the food. And I feel like with this, with the cooked RBS book that will be out sometime, I promise. And so there's the Jumpstart book as well. But I feel like we have fundamentals in place for what we all need to be eating each day. And then how can we like feed the rest of ourselves, you know? And I feel like the stories on YouTube are going to be that, you know, help serve that purpose. And so that is my goal moving forward, is to have a lot more stuff coming out right here that's, you know, inspirational, that helps us stay focused, that helps us remember what kind of life change we can have if we can, you know, it's those little, you guys, it's those little momentary things. It's those that we have to win. In the psychology module, I refer to this as, you know, our internal negotiations. We all know it's there. And I don't know, I think it's easy for us to think that nobody else goes through that, that it's like somehow unique, that we're struggling internally, and that other people don't, or other people don't as much as we do, and everybody does. And it's really a matter of how we're negotiating with our own selves. That becomes a key thing. And Christine is from Denver, and Christine's sister, see, your comment disappeared, Christine. That's a, you guys. Okay. And your sister is from Iowa. So Christine lost 20 pounds, then stalled for 4 weeks, doing my first 46-hour fast today. That's great. And your comment disappeared again. But a short fast like that is always a great way to break out of a stall. But if you do have access to either of these materials, so I'm guessing, so you might have the Ridiculously Big Salad book. I would really compare what you're doing to the framework in this. And the Jumpstart, you guys, you know, there's a whole Jumpstart video course, and there's stuff in there on stalls. And so and we're just getting that set up, so a lot of people who bought that before don't even realize there's a new area, so I direct you to there. But an extended fast is absolutely a super great way to break through a stall. And an extended fast is simply not eating for more than a day. So typically it's taking a day off of eating, and there's something to it. I mean, it really just, it resets your body in a lot of ways. I find it really actually helps reduce my hunger. So when I'm when my hunger starts creeping up, I might do an extended fast. And even though it seems like, well, you should be more hungry, you kind of are breaking through that period, but you come out of it with less of a hunger problem, because really that hunger, it ends up being trained. And when we've trained ourselves, for instance, that we're going to eat 7 times a day, we're hungry, real hungry 7 times a day. If you've trained yourself that you're just eating once, you're probably going to find yourself super hungry right before that meal that comes up, because you've trained yourself and you're expecting it's also up here, not just a hormone, but up here, you're like, oh, that food's about to come and I'm ready to eat, because I'm always ready to eat. You guys, like this idea that I'm never, you know, I'm just going to solve my problem psychologically and walk away from food and never think about it. I would always think about it. You have to have the tools to let it not take over your life. Yeah. And so and Deborah, so no support from family or friends, and so you are getting support in the group. That's awesome, Deborah. And you know, I think that sometimes then you can maybe wait. Your family and friends may come around, or it may not end up being important. You know, so once you kind of have your own groove going, then you just got it going, and you know, it'll work itself out. I wouldn't, especially when you're first getting started, I wouldn't worry about the friends and family. I definitely wouldn't try to convince them of anything. I would just do it. Just do what you need to do for yourself, and don't maybe involve them if you can, if you can manage that. So, okay, this is me again looking at, can you tell I'm like trying to read the messages? Okay. And let's see. Sue said she was embarrassed to say she lost 100 pounds. How could I even get to weighing that much in the first place? Now I'm so proud to be part of the Century Club. Awesome. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I feel like that's definitely how I felt. I could see that in the video that I made 3 years ago, and that I was concerned about having that photo out there. And I've really come to think differently about the photo, and maybe it's because I'm kind of in this leadership position or something. But I really think about, first of all, I know myself. I know that I wasn't like some fat, lazy slob or whatever. And so even though that's the stereotype that people have of you, and they're like, look at you, you were so out of control, and that's why you were so fat. You know what? That's actually not really why I was so fat. Yeah, apparently I ate too much. But had I actually not moderated myself or tried to, I would have really been quite a bit fatter, because I can eat a lot. I mean, that's the reality. As I have looked back and reflected on my own actions, I could certainly have been the poster child of my 600-pound life. I mean, easily. Oh, like, the 1,000-pound cases or whatever. I mean, of course. It's not that much ice cream or whatever that gets you up into those levels, frankly. And so it was because I actually did try to moderate that I only ended up at 280. And so I think, for one thing, the people in the community who started those higher weights, they know that too. And so we're less likely to get that kind of stuff from people in the community. But in terms of like my embarrassment, as I look back on it and think about me in 2017, I'm really not embarrassed as much as I really think about how proud I am that I really got in and focused on it. I did that. And it didn't matter what I looked like or whatever. I was there fighting for it. I did it. That's what I looked like. So what? I mean, so what? And so much of the whole weight loss thing and all these years of our lives is all about like what we look like. And I'll tell you what, I refuse now. I will not now judge myself or other people by what they look like. So now that I, got trim or something, like, oh, well, now I'm gonna look at me, I'm all trim. You know what? I feel like that is like a reverse, that's like de-evolving, whatever. What is the word for that? But anyway, you guys know what I mean? Like, why would we regress and start worrying about that now? Anyway, and so I'm not going to worry about that now. And using that same lens, I'm not going to judge my 2017 self for how I looked. Rather, I'm going to judge my 2017 self for what I did. And I changed my life. I changed my life. And this is what I looked like when I did it. Okay? That's what I looked like. That's okay. That was me. That was me doing it. That's what it looks like right there. So might take a lot of rest. See if you guys are tired. That was me resting in around September 3rd of 2017, right there. Yeah. So, and yeah, Sue says, not that it was a secret that I weighed a lot, but I have no shame. And gosh, no, but I had no shame in telling what I weigh or weighed or pictures. Yeah. So, and so, okay, so we're getting some creamer questions real quick. You guys, the FAQs on the website. So the creamer. And there's a video in this channel about bulletproof coffee. And so bulletproof coffee is, so that's, or creamer or anything like that in your coffee. Here's my concern about it. I know, because I'm like the leader, the president of the Cream in the Coffee Club. I can put a lot of cream in my coffee. And I mean, really legendary amounts of cream in my coffee. And if I did that every single day for every cup of coffee that I drank, I'd still be fat, because that's a lot of calories. So my main thing to y'all is I'd really watch it. I'd really watch it, because that's going to add up. And So think about it this way, like say an extra 300 calories a day, that ends up being about three pounds of fat a month. It depends on your maintenance calories and all that, but it's not a small number when it's like aggregated over every single day. And have you tried your tea with keto creamer? Yeah. So the thing about the creamers and stuff, I would look at the like added junk. I would look at the sugar. I would look at the calories. I'd look at all those things and see if they fit in the goal that you have. And yeah, Teresa, with diabetes. So right, because like everyone's an expert and going to consult to get involved in your business. So I hope you're able to find a good doctor who will help you like navigate the medications and stuff. As you lose weight, things are going to need to be adjusted. So that's where the doctor helps. Maybe the family not so much. It sounds like yeah, because they'll all have opinions. And yeah, Leslie, look, so Leslie is struggling every day because she misses her tea with milk. You know what I'd say about that, Leslie? I think if you feel like that is really the key thing that you're struggling over, why don't you add the tea with milk? I feel like any of these things, it's so easy because we've done it all the time. You guys know it. What I'm about to say, think about if you do this. Like this thing, you're trying this thing, but that one part of it doesn't work. And so you just throw it all out and go back to what you were doing, okay? What you were doing got you here, okay? Try this thing. And if you're really feeling like it's that tea with the milk that's really the barrier, add the tea with the milk. Now, you could have a lot of milk and that would be a lot of calories. Be mindful of that and that impact. But don't just, it's not working because the tea with the milk. So I'm just going to go back to all that I did that got me here. Don't do that at all. Add the tea with the milk. If that really is the key thing that's keeping you from knowing that you can do this for a long time, it might slow things a little bit, but so you're doing it. Just what if it took another month? So what? It's a long game here we're playing. Long game. Hey, Nancy is on the central coast of California. Hey, Nancy, how wonderful. It's beautiful here in the Southern Sequoia, the Giant Sequoia National Monument. I bet it's pretty nice on the central coast too. And Sue asks, when did you set your goal weight and how did you know when you got there? And thank you, Sue, because I caught a message a bit ago and I forgot to answer it on the same question. How did I know when I reached my goal weight? That's a good, so it was 3 years ago about now that I hit the 120 pound down mark and then was out hiking and such over the season and just ended up down another 20. And so, good morning, Alistair. Look at this guy. He's like turned into like some kind of has a vampire sleep schedule, and slept in his bear shirt. Anyway, but let me quickly finish this, Alistair, which is that I ended up right at this Yellowstone photo. So I came back from this Yellowstone trip, and this is the after photo. And this is me at basically 140 pounds because I weighed about 5 days later and was shocked to discover, look at me, all these trips, all these hikes, I now weigh 140 pounds. And I don't know, I was shocked. And then I just stayed there. I do wonder, I really wonder, had I had a goal to get to 130 or 120, I probably would have stayed focused and kept doing it, but I think I was so shocked that I got to 140. And, the summer was over, and then I got completely caught up because this photo, as I'll talk about in other stories, this was taken around mid-August of 2018. And the video, A Postcard from Yellowstone, I posted that on September 6th, I believe, of 2018, and I'll tell some more of those stories. But the bottom line is I got really caught up with all of this, and honestly, I was at way below my expected weight as it was, so I wasn't even thinking about losing anymore. But yeah, I do wonder. It makes me wonder that the summer ended here, and my diligent hiking kind of ended here. But what if it hadn't? What if this had been May, and then maybe I would have been down to 120? Golly, whew, that's hard to imagine. I mean, really, never. I mean, I passed 120 probably when I was 11 for 5 minutes. So let's see. Hey, Alistair, everyone's saying hi to you, honey. Luce was just in Clovis last week. Awesome. And Nancy loves the sequoias, and Nancy's from Fresno. So yeah, Fresno is right here in the belly of the bear. We are right here near you guys. Let's see.
Hello.
Oh, and Kathy, I'm so glad you have a doctor who's on board. That's awesome. And Leslie asks, but does the tea with the milk break the fast? Yeah, so maybe. I would keep the milk as low as you can manage, but it's gonna be better than going back to what you were doing. So you could always try it. You could add it. I would, if it's a matter of like having that drink once a day. I mean, I'm not sure what your pattern is, but you would want to try to have it closer to your eating window, for instance. So there's ways you can kind of manage it to try to keep it in, but reduce its impact. But again, I feel like if you really feel like you can't do it without that, then do it with it, because it's better than not doing it. That's how I see it. And you kind of assess it. It's kind of like me with alcohol. I knew I couldn't really lose with it, and so I cut it out, and then cut it out completely because I really knew I had to, and I was concerned about how to manage bringing it back in. And over time, I mean, I just made the decision not to bring it back in. That's my decision. Other people will have different decisions, and so it's hard to know where you're going to be at the end of this process and what kind of value you would have for the tea with the milk. For instance, once you reach your goal, if you find, for instance, that tea is really impacting your goal, maybe discovering that is important, and you weigh that tea against your goal. It's hard to know. I mean, things like certain drinks, I mean, definitely bring us a lot of pleasure and are worthy of being weighed against a goal, because I mean, they're like their own goal, right? But you don't really know their impact unless you kind of play around with it and see yourself, not just the impact on your weight loss, but the impact on like your comfort, the things that tea is providing you that is making it hard to give up. And just weigh all of this. Let's see. Okay, talking about the alcohol. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. Susan says, I will be 70 next month, and so much wish I'd found you 30 years ago. I wish I'd found myself 30 years ago, Susan. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And she says, your psychology info has been invaluable. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. I'm still working on the last 4 pounds to hit 100.
Whoa.
Okay. So Century Bear alert. Yeah. And
Nice.
Terry, I direct you to a whole video in this channel on the bulletproof coffee. But yeah, the bottom line is I'd watch the calories, and you know what else? It's not just that, but honestly, I talked earlier about how I eat the one big meal and draw the line. It's easier to draw that line if you're not playing around with other stuff throughout the day. Things like coffee with creamer might want to make you eat more. Might make it hard to draw that line. So yeah, so Helen's asking for me to elaborate on disassociating yourself from the hunger and drawing the line. So the way I can draw the line best is if I'm not hungry. Okay, so that's I think the key thing. So I eat, and this is where you guys, where the meal model works so well. And so this giant salad is highly crafted to be mindful of carbs and calories and to fill you up. I mean, I get super satisfied with this type of meal. So stuffed, in fact, that I then don't run around looking for the dessert or other food or whatever else, because that's how full I am. And if I'm not even quite full, maybe have a seltzer at the end of that meal, something that makes me feel like I really don't want to eat now. That really super full feeling. That is when I draw the line. And so the key, I find it very hard to draw the line if I'm not that full, because if I'm not, like right now, I've eaten a bit today, but not a whole lot. And so I would have a hard time not eating something else. But so what my goal would be to eat something like, the bulky salad, so that I do reach that fullness, then I draw the line. So when I'm hungry, I have a hard time drawing the line. And so my strategy every day with my eating is to get full enough that I find it psychologically easy to draw the line until tomorrow. And I've gotten into the habit of late in the day, I might feel a little peckish or whatever, but I don't eat because I don't eat late in the day. That's my new routine. That's it. Yep. So you're getting some love here, Alistair. Let's see. I'm just looking at comments.
Did you notice my comment?
I saw your comment from yesterday.
I mean, like, scroll down a bit.
Oh, okay, just a minute, but let me just scroll up a little bit.
Yeah.
Leslie's in the bath. You're in the bath right now, Leslie. Okay.
Yeah, you talked about seltzer, so. I mean,
Oh, so Alistair grabbed a seltzer. Okay, excellent. That'd be funny. Like we should do like some kind of like everybody like take their YouTube app out somewhere. Maybe that should be one of our days. Everyone goes somewhere kind of cool or in the bathtub. Oh, and then like everyone can report where they are. I think that would be great. I would love that.
yeah,
Or
we
like
have a lot of places we could go.
or like everybody, like maybe, okay, you guys, this is tomorrow. So I'll tell a story, but I want to know how you're living in your goal tomorrow because so like there's the big goal videos here on YouTube. You can find them. And I talk about how even, I was limping around. I just wanted to hike with my sons and I got out there. I drove them all over the place. I was, limping around at the trailheads or driving behind my son who was on a bike, this guy's brother who was on a bike and out there engaged in the way that I could be engaged. So tomorrow, I want you to report back to us. Let's say it can be anything you did in the next 24 hours before tomorrow's, but bonus points if you're doing it while you're watching the video, because that would be great. And tell us how you're living in your goal. And so the big goal, so find the big goal videos. I'll maybe post them in the description to this one, but they're here on the channel. And they're about goal setting. And what I talk about is like diets of the past. My goal was like, 20 pounds or 50 pounds or something. But this was the first time I had a goal that was completely encompassing physical and not about the pounds. And it was because I wanted to hike and I got out and I lived in that goal. And so I encourage everybody to set what I call the big goal, something that is completely physical, all encompassing. Picture yourself in what you are going to be doing at the finish line. Picture it, envision it, and then live in it the best you can live in it. And I realize we have a lot of limitations when we start things like this, and like now with COVID, so, there's a lot of limitations, but there's also a lot of possibilities and there's always ways we can engage. You can engage with the goal of hiking from a hospital bed if that's what you had to do. So you could put pictures on a vision board. You can always do something with things like that. And so that's my charge to you guys. So I want you to go out and engage in your goal today and tomorrow. You're going to come back and report to us on what you did. Okay. And let's see. So tomorrow's story. So today I talked about the person who was supposed to be in charge of Eat Like a Bear. It was not me because I was busy with my foraging empire. It was not me. And I was working on convincing him that he needed to get started. And so I was out working on the marketing message, how to convince someone to get started, because I was going back to convince him so he could, lead this revolution. And so tomorrow I will talk about how that then ended up leading to the Eat Like a Bear group on Facebook, and then my trip back to the doctor. Okay, so that will be tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And we're excited because Alistair has something.
Someone said comment.
Oh,
They
okay.
said, "Is Alistair drinking the new Zevia flavor?" Yes, I am.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay. Shout out Alistair, to our unexpected product placement here at Eat Like a Bear. How funny, Sue. Sue is apparently a Zevia nut if she happened to know that this was the new flavor. I think that's hilarious.
Oh,
So, Alistair,
interesting.
would you come and give Sue, this is the creamy root beer flavor. I think we need a product review. Why don't you?
It's amazing. Oh, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's great. It might be my favorite Zevia flavor.
So just before, so my husband and older son are in Pennsylvania right now because my mother-in-law passed away about 2 weeks ago. And just before they left, my husband placed a Zevia order because we wanted to taste the new flavor. And so Alistair here, it's like his main hydration. Like he doesn't need water, you know.
No, I have milk. I have milk. And water.
So JD says, your grandson is so sweet and encouraging. Okay, JD, guess what? So you're not the first to say that.
Yeah.
But Alistair,
Not her grandson. Her son.
Alistair came a little bit later in life than often they come.
Yeah, like 40.
So, anyway, yeah, so yeah, I was 40. Anyway, and Alistair is 12. So this is Alistair. All right. And so Lisa likes the ginger root beer and the ginger ale.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, she loves.
Yeah, I
she
think
loves
those are good flavors. Those are really good flavors. They the ginger ale, I don't know if you know, I should talk about all this, but some of us maybe know more about Zevia than is normal. And
Yeah, that would be you and me, and that's it.
well, the interesting thing about the ginger ale flavor is that about 2 years ago they actually modified the flavor a little bit, and I think it's really excellent now.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever change they made is really
I
great.
didn't like it as much before, but now it's definitely better. And the new ones are slightly like greener or like slightly bluer or something.
Oh, you think the color of the can is different?
Yeah, can is slightly, the color is slightly different.
Interesting. Okay, you guys.
Wait,
Okay.
Can I just quickly check?
So he's going to check. I don't know how he's going to check, but okay. Well, just need to get like the folks at Zevia to sponsor the live stream here at Iola Compare. No. Anyway, so yeah. So but there are lots of seltzers out there that could satisfy you. I'm a stevia person, so stevia is an herbal sweetener, and I'm a big stevia person, and we actually grow it. So anyway, you guys, tomorrow you're coming back with your reports about your big goal and what you've done in this day to work to live to engage in your big goal, and I expect your report tomorrow.
Wait,
And
if
so Alistair,
you see it somewhere in here, it's kind of cyan, but normally if we everyone will be green.
okay, well, very
Also,
good.
the can itself
Very
is-
good. Hey, thank you, Cindy. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to everybody here. And so I hope to see you in the next few days. And because I'll be here live every day, figuring out something to talk about. We'll just keep talking. And so I look forward to hearing you guys tomorrow about your goals. And so tomorrow at noon Pacific, I'll be here. So and maybe on the same app. This seemed to work pretty well, and I just need to learn more about the comments. And Leslie, right now it's 1 o'clock, and so whatever the time is now, minus an hour wherever you are. Yeah.
There's a button to add some random commenter as a moderator.
Well, that was not random commenter. That was our one and only Sexy Bear Jane.
Oh, cool.
So maybe YouTube knew. But that's interesting because I didn't. You see, you can add moderators. Look
Yeah,
at that.
you can.
I can put a user on timeout. Yeah, maybe I should put Jane on timeout. I think Jane.
Yeah, and you can even put like me on.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to
moderator.
comment. Okay, so we're now delving into nonsense
I
again.
already commented. Wait,
Did you?
yeah, I
Really?
told you.
On from your app?
Yes, let me check. Well, I told you about it a little bit before.
You did, but I wasn't paying too much attention.
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
Okay.
Here you go.
Hey, you guys.
1 second. Oh god.
Okay, Alistair's looking for his own comment.
It's fine.
Okay, well, anyway, you guys, tomorrow, and
Okay, okay.
So, yeah. See? Yeah, we could put Jane right there, make her moderator. Put on timeout. Gonna put all you guys on timeout. Put everybody on timeout. Just all you.
You could put everyone as a moderator.
What would that do? Yeah,
And everyone can put everyone else on timeout.
Yeah, that everyone's putting everyone on
hide
timeout. What would it? I don't even know what moderator powers do on YouTube. I have no idea. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna add Jane as a moderator right now. Oh no. Okay. So anyway, and Susan, yeah. Okay, you guys. Well, so you're engaging in your goal. You're reporting tomorrow.
Wait, 1 second.
And so, oh wait, Alistair says wait. I have no idea why. This is surely very important.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Okay. So, oh, and JD's in Pennsylvania. Okay, hey, Alistair.
You can add me as moderator.
Okay, I added Alistair as a moderator.
Whatever that does.
What could possibly go wrong?
Okay, yeah, it's just the same thing as yours, but I can't add things as moderators.
I wonder if I can subtract Alistair as the moderator.
Yeah, I think you can. Just press my comment again and then remove as moderator.
Let's see. Oh, remove moderator. Let's do that. Okay. Okay.
Then I finally go point and block.
Yeah. So yeah, Sander. Thank you guys for your condolences. And Sander is back back there, and actually they'll at some point they'll be driving back home because they flew, and so Sander's dad has 3 cars and gave one to Frederick, and so they'll be driving back in one of those cars. Yeah. And so she had late stage Alzheimer's, and you know, I think she was ready. Okay, so but yeah, it's hard, and so okay, you guys, you're living in your goal, and you're reporting back, and bonus points if it's a bathtub or whatever. So entertain us. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need to be entertained. And Jane, don't you worry. So we didn't make you a moderator, nor did we put you on timeout. But I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Okay. Okay. So we'll catch all in your report tomorrow.
Yeah, moderators can put people on timeout and hide them from the channel.
So I am gonna see if I can even stop this live because
Press X, maybe.
I'm working on. I'm gonna press the X. Are you sure you want to stop streaming?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do that.
We're gonna stop streaming now. So say goodbye.
One last sip of Zevia.
Oh, Alistair. Alistair wants to do one last Zevia review, but he's lost to Zevia. So one final sip.
Wait. I got the Zevia. Instead, if you want the Zevia review, here we go.
Oh, well done. We all got to hear that sound. I think sometimes sodas is all about that opening. So okay. Well, now we can say goodbye.
Yeah, this is sweeter than any other version.
Okay. Goodbye, you guys. See you tomorrow.